A group of succubi were flying through the city's dark sky. These creatures, each with a different appearance, were named Gunna, Ibikari, and Dora. They were on their way to a party, planning to let loose with the help of some guys. But then Dora noticed something out of the ordinary. Below them, in a park, there was a small box with a human baby inside. Ibikari wondered what a baby was doing there. Gunna, matter-of-factly, told her it had probably been abandoned. Due to her succubus nature, Ibikari wanted to know if it was a boy, though the others didn't seem very enthusiastic about finding out for obvious reasons. They all agreed that it seemed like a terrible act to leave a man, or future man, completely healthy and in good condition, discarded like a piece of trash. This kind of behavior was terrible for their future. If all humans did things like this, their species would go extinct. As the conversation unfolded, a brilliant idea popped into Dora's head. What if they raised the baby and bred him as a stud? That way, they'd kill two birds with one stone. Dora and Ibikari celebrated and agreed to this wonderful idea, while Gunna seriously insisted that wasn't going to happen. Thanks to her two friends' celebrations, the baby woke up and started crying. Tired of the crying, Gunna googled the reasons why a human baby might cry and how to soothe it. She read that it could be due to pain, hunger or illness, but that it was most likely hunger. This last problem was easy for Dora to fix. Ibikari simply had to feed her. She said with a sad smile that she'd like to, but it had been a long time since she'd done so, so she doubted her body would produce breast milk. Gunna had read that humans sold something called powdered milk, so they had to go find some. Thanks to Google Maps, they'd made it to the nearest supermarket and gotten everything they needed to care for a baby. There was just one small problem, and that was that they had no money. While they were thinking about what to do, an idea came to Gunna's mind when she saw a man who looked like a hard worker. Staring at him intently, she began her plan, and 10 minutes later, with money in one hand and a handkerchief in the other, she returned, telling her friends that she had already eaten dinner and they could go ahead with their silly plan. Now in the sinister world of the succubi, Ibikari was feeding the child, and Dora, watching them, just hoped that the milk would make him grow strong and fast. Gunna reminded Dora if she had already changed his diaper, and just as she was doing so, the child began to relieve himself. Although this might seem alarming, Dora was already used to this kind of situation. In her long life, she had found herself in many similar situations. Already exhausted from the long journey, and even more so by the new responsibility fate had bestowed upon them, they were ready to go to bed. But before they could fall asleep, the baby began to cry. Annoyed by this, Dora was on the verge of doing something a bit extreme to quiet the baby. But Gunna, with great patience, held her back and told her that such tactics wouldn't work on him yet. Ibikari, being the calmest, understood the baby and prepared a bottle of milk. He was just hungry, even though only 3 hours had passed since his last feeding. Dora was surprised that a baby could eat so much, though the comparisons they used weren't at all appropriate. With the baby now asleep, they planned to sleep while one of them watches over him. Gunna would do it tonight, but tomorrow it would be one of the others' turn. Dora, ready for bed, was a bit annoyed by the responsibility she herself had encouraged them to take on. They wished the child would mature or grow up quickly. 6 months passed, and she was the first to see the child take his first steps, which thrilled her. She expressed her emotions using not-so-appropriate words, reminding us that they were still demons at heart. We won't know how this story ends or how these succubi will continue raising a human child, but if they ever release a sequel and you want to see it here, let me know. Without further ado, may God bless you all, and remember, God is the way to truth and life.